Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the law of attraction, manifesting success stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks. Hello and welcome to this episode. I am normally your host, Cassie Parks. Today, I'm going to turn the reins over to Kimberly Hite, who will be starting coaching we're also probably going to change her name. I'll announce it now. Future Self University. I think that the Enchanted Circle is growing because that's really what we do. We take this 5-year investment in yourselves. It's the university of you, figuring out who you want to be, which a lot of my clients have discovered is who they already are, or maybe they have masked. Either way, it doesn't matter, but it's this 5-year investment in becoming who you want to be and how you want to be in the world and how you want to live, and attracting all of the experiences, money, abundance, relationships that you want to live your amazing life. So it's not preparation, but to do that today, we're going to have Kimberly interview me about coaches and this shift. So I'm super excited. We are recording this on October 21st, 2021. I'm going to turn it over to you, Kimberly.
Hi, Cassie. I'm so excited to do this.
Me too.
I just remember I had kept asking you about a coaching program. So I'm just going to dive right into the first question. I remember when I asked if you had ever considered teaching others your way of being a coach. And I believe there was a no with an explanation as to why. We talk a lot about inspiration, but do you remember your initial reason of why you wouldn't do it?
So first and foremost, same as everything that we teach, it wasn't a hell yes, right? And so if it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And there were reasons why it wasn't. I knew why it wasn't a hell yes. And we don't always need reasons, but I knew, right? The reasons it wasn't a hell yes is because there was no model I could see that I wanted to do. So I believe in what I teach so much that I couldn't create a coaching program that taught you how to coach, and then you go teach you just the coaching pieces, but then you go create a different model. To me, that didn't make it. It wasn't in alignment with who I am or the power I believe this program has. I believe this program works for anybody who shows up and does the work. If you show up, you do the work, and you're coachable, this program will work for you. Will it take others, because we all start at a different place, maybe longer? And some people, it seems like they're speed manifesting. Yes. But I also believe, and we will see this more and more as we get more and more people closer to that 5-year mark that we've been working with, it'll all balance out in a way. But meaning that those that felt like it was slow at the beginning, or somebody comes in a little bit further ahead abundance wise, they're going to keep growing, but then they're also going to have some bigger growth periods that might feel a little slower. And so I think that's all going to balance out. Bottom line, if you do the work and you're coachable and you show up to be coachable and to have your shit called on you, like if you're willing to have your shit called, because that's what it takes, is to be open to see, oh, I've been doing it this way and it hasn't worked. And sometimes you have to be called on that because we can't see it. So if you show up, you're willing to be coachable and do the work, it works for everyone. So to have a program that I was going to coach coaches how to coach, but tell them to go create a program that worked as good as this, was out of alignment. And I didn't, because this program was based on inspiration, and it's so much inspiration and there's so much energy, that didn't make, I could teach you how to replicate that, but that would be a lot of time. It would be a lot of energy. And it doesn't line up also, when someone buys a coaching program, then they want to go become a coach. And so then being like, oh, it's going to take you 5 years to evolve your amazing program is probably going to be a hard sell. And I could do it, but it didn't feel good. So that, and again, still didn't align. Even if I could do that, it still didn't line up.
Right. I love that. I love hearing the answer too. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Do you remember when it went from a no to a hell yes?
So it's interesting because it was not, the way we asked the question versus kind of talking about inspiration, right? So it was always, when you asked me, it's like, will you ever have this? And it was a no, right? But then there was a moment of inspiration where it wasn't no longer a question. It was this is the next step. It was no longer, is this possible? Do I want this? It's, oh, we are opening up. Everything is now lined up. I've learned a lot in the past 8 years, that everything is lined up, and we just opened up pay after you manifest. And in order to serve all of the people, if I really want to go out in the world and say, this is available, I have to have more people to help me deliver that coaching. I either have to keep it a secret and only get a little number of people, or I have to say, hey, this is a possibility to everybody, but I can't do that alone. And so when I saw, it was like I saw that, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, this is the coaching program and this is how it works. And it is something I'd never thought about before.
That's awesome. Okay. So do you think that by others wanting it, meaning your program, gave it energy to come to fruition? Does that question make sense?
Do you mean coaching program?
Yeah.
I think it helps, right? So if there's nobody out there that has this, and I've seen this time and time again in my thing, it was almost 5 years ago now that I did Manifest 10K live for the first time, and the only time actually. And that was totally inspired. And I had more than one person say, man, I was just thinking a couple of days ago, I wish Cassie would do a live program. I would like to go be live. I would like to do this. And so absolutely. And which is amazing when you think about it in terms of the law of attraction. And if you really believe, oh, an inspired idea already has someone on the other end, that's what creates that energy of inspiration, right? Somebody's waiting for it. So I think both. I think that there were coaches who wanted to coach, you being definitely one of them. Coaches who were feeling this calling, like, I want to do this work. I don't want to go train somewhere else to be a coach and do something different, because this is what changed my life. And I want to help other people with this. I want to show other people what's possible. So I think having that energy, and also I believe there is this bigger pool as well out there that is looking for a program where you can invest and pay after you manifest and know it works, and then go all in.
That's awesome. I remember the day you announced it. I was so excited. So can you tell us, like, what is so different about your coach training than any other training program out there?
So for what I know, and I don't do a lot of investigation into other trainings. I did a little. I know some things just because I know people in the coaching industry. I know other friends who have taken different coaching programs. But what I know is that it generally works like this. So there's kind of two models. So either you pay for a coach training program, and I have seen, law of attraction coach training programs for like $27. I honestly don't think that is going to give you the tools to coach someone else to create their life. But, $27 to, I'm sure there's upwards of $40,000 coaching training programs, right? Mm-hmm. And so what normally happens is you come in and you pay that, you make that investment up front in your business, and they teach you, okay, these are sort of the tools, or this is the model, or this is the system to coach people. And then you go out and you create your own program. And so I love, I've been on Jill Angie's show. Jill Angie has been on here. Not Your Average Runner is a great example of that. Jill Angie went to life coach school, and then she takes that model and she applies that to running. And it's created this whole business around Not Your Average Runners and teaches that. And she loves that. And it's amazing. But my program it doesn't have a model. It has a system. So it doesn't have here's the 5, I think there's 5 steps in Brooke Castillo's model. I apologize if I'm getting it wrong, but I think there's kind of 5 steps that you go through. And so that is an example of a model, and she calls it the model. It's a specific way that you handle sort of everything that comes at you. But our program is a system, and it's proven when the system is done step by step. So, because it naturally changes your brain, it gets along those things. And then there's coaching to help you, burst any bubbles and move up level and all of that. And bubbles, I mean, things that might be getting in your way, stuff like that. And so it's all built on that. And so you can go learn sort of this model, or this method is another way to say it, and then go implement it in your own business, which is awesome. And that calls to some people. If you want to build something but you want to have the tools, that's the way you do it. Right. And so you're basically learning tools, and then you go create your niche business around that, right? Whether it's, mompreneurs or not your average runners, or I don't know, women who are just got divorced and starting their life over, whatever that is, you apply those tools to them and create your own business. Let's see. And the way that our program is different is that we're all teaching the same thing. It's still the original system that has been proven. So you're taking this proven system and learning how to be a coach within that system. So we already know that the work works, which in all those other programs, they know the work works too. I'm not saying that. We already know that when you do this step by step, it works. And we just have a coach to guide and to see, and I can train coaches to see, where are people missing? Where are they getting this? Where are they doing that? And I've actually been doing that. The first time I did that was when I was doing tryouts for softball when I was coaching. My assistant coach, she was a softball player, but she was more of a soccer player. And so, we had to do bunting tryouts. And I said, that girl is faking it. She watched the girl before her and she's kind of doing it. And I was like, but she didn't know how to do it. And so I would teach her how to look for, does this girl really know? Has she done this before? There was nothing wrong with either of that, right? It was just, we scored it a little differently in experience level and what team you're going to make. But that's the same thing that I teach my coaches. And so the other difference is all of us are in one group, we're all helping the same, right? So it's one proven system. We have one group. When your clients plug in, the quote unquote original enchanted circle is already over $10 million manifested. So they're plugging into that. They're not starting at zero. They're just adding to the 10 million. Did I fully answer that question?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. And we've talked before about why I never signed up for any other coaching program.
Yeah.
And I know that your program, your system, it works. And a lot of your members know it works. That's why they're still here. So awesome. Thank you for really explaining that.
You're welcome.
Okay. So you talk about scripting, and we do a lot of future self work, and it's usually 5 years from now. How is your life 5 years from now with coaches?
So I will start by saying this. I was still so what we do in what's going to be Future Self University is you do manifest 10K, and then you do a future self, and you work on that future self, scripting that future self for the next 9 to 12 months or however long it takes. Right. So when I was inspired about having coaches, I was already in that future self work. So as I stay true to my process, and I completed scripting that, and I've just completed that series of assignments and really started back on the steps and what's a new up-leveled money manifesting course. And so as I was doing the steps, so I have thought about it. I have had to go get data, which is what I call, and I had you and Vicki go get some data when we did your future self coach, your future coach self workshop as well. So I can see pieces. I'm gathering data for when that comes. But here is what I wrote in my 5 years from now. When I went through the steps for money manifesting, I've been training coaches for 5 years, and they are supporting so many people in manifesting amazing amounts of money. I am so excited that I am the creator, guide, and inspiration for all this. My life is so far from where it was 15 years ago, because this assignment is, going kind of back to the beginning, where it was 15 years ago when I decided to start turning the boat before my 30th birthday. Since that moment, everything I have ever wanted started flowing into my life. I am so grateful for who I am willing to be. And then this is to celebrate my 13th freedom anniversary. I'm going to take a photo of me enjoying my bed watching The Office, which we might talk about in the next episode, is a throwback to what I did when I quit. Both my bed is manifesting my business. I wanted to be able to work from my bed, and then watching The Office is a throwback to my freedom anniversary. So that is what I've thought. But what I know, I think it's perfect that I haven't done a workshop where I have coaches yet, because I'm continually seeing bits and pieces, okay. So 5 years from now, there's going to be, roughly, there's going to be over probably 30 books off the top of my head that will have been written by my coaches, that will speak to all of these different people, that will call in all these different people. Because that's what else we do different is we don't market, we do invitations, and we invite people and we meet them where they are, and we don't come up with this like one person that we want to serve, right? We get real and connected to the people that we will serve in the next 5 years. So lots of books, amazing trips with you guys. I think there was another thing that I had written about, about a trip that we had took together, and it will just be so much fun because we'll be impacting so many more people, and that's amazing. And that is what I set out to do.
Well, and I didn't write this down. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of inspired.
That's okay.
So I really like that you just shared that part of your script, because you do the work too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you want to share that here now? Like Cassie's not just a coach that says, here, this is how you do it. She actually shows up and does the work with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do the work every day. So as I've, but I had it outlined, the next up level, which no one is to yet, except for me. Mm-hmm. And so I've been writing that out, and I do it the same as I did Manifest 10K. The first time I wrote it, I did it. When I upgraded it to Manifest 10K for money, I did it because I do everything, and because it works. Why would I do anything else? Like, I want my life to keep growing and expanding. Like, I'm not done. I guess if I was like, okay, this is good enough, I don't want anything else, which would be fine, but that seems boring to me because I love growth and I love expanding and I love what's next and I love helping people. And so I do the work. I do the exact same work that I give you guys.
That's one of the reasons why I love you. Okay. So do you want to talk a little bit about what the requirements are to being accepted into the coaching program?
Absolutely. So you have to have worked with me you have to have gone through Manifest 10K twice. So when you join, you can join Pay After You Manifest and you can do 10K the first time. And then when you want to do the Future Self Workshop, you have to commit to 5 years. So when you do that, you do the future self work we just talked about, which might take you 9 months, might take you 12 months. And then you do Manifest 10K for a second time. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Once you've completed Manifest 10K for the second time, you can apply to be a coach. And you go through and you learn, I have a thing that goes through. And, it goes from, I might be interested in this, to clearly knowing if it's a hell yes or a no, because we do things different. So that is it. You have to be doing the work, right? Because obviously I do the work. It's not something where you can just today, if you're listening and you're not working with me, say, oh, I want to get into that coaching program. You have to have gone through Manifest 10K twice, because that means you have the success of the program under your belt. It means this made a difference in your life, and you're not coming because this is fixing a problem. If I sign up for this coach training, I'll be able to do more, make more money. No, it's this. And so there's that. And you have to work with me. So if at any point in the time somebody's listening to this in the future, you'll have to if you want to be a coach, you move over. If you know that soon, or you think that's it, you want to sign up to work with me directly versus one of the other coaches, because in order to become a coach, you do have to have done the work with me. Because I need to see you. I need to see your future self. I need to know the work in order to have this trust that, yeah, you've done the work. Because that is what's so important to me. Both you and Vicky have come so far. You still want to create more in your life, but you have, conquered demons, and you've overcome hurdles, and you've gone through all this, and you've been willing to ask for more, and you've up-leveled your self-worth and all of these other things, and manifested a ton of money. But those other things become more important than the money. And so you have to have done the work.
I would definitely agree with that. And I said all along, I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me.
I love it. And I'm so excited about that. Because there's such a growth that happens in becoming a coach too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the biggest growths that you'll ever go through, is stepping into being a coach.
And I have you. So I'm like, yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you most excited about having new coaches sharing your program?
I am most excited about being part of a team. I'm an athlete. I played softball. I love being part of a team. And I never wanted a team. Sometimes you'll see a business person. I saw someone the other day with 25 people on their team. And I'm like, no, because it doesn't feel good to me, because it feels like there's still an org chart, right? I'm at the top in this, but for us, it's me and it's all of us. And we're all doing the same things. I've designed it so will do a little bit more. In different points, it's a lot more, because I'm building the coach training program, because I'm training you guys. But when it comes to, I see that as separate. I see that as a separate piece. But other than that, we're all on the same front lines. We're all building together. We all have the same expectations, and the same contributions that we make. We all invest the same amount of time into this amazing thing to allow it to grow and to invite more and more people to be a part of it. So I'm just really excited that I didn't even realize this was a thing, but that I'm not doing it alone anymore. I didn't realize that, until a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to help me write some emails. They're going to help me do this, because these are their people. I shouldn't be doing it all. Yeah.
So awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share today?
Just that make sure to tune into next week's episode. Is going to be a Freedomversary episode. I always do something to celebrate that. And that by the time this comes out, it is unlikely that you will be able to sign up with me to pay after you manifest anymore. So you can still make an upfront investment and work with me. However, if you want to do pay after you manifest, you will be working with my coaches, and that will be open January 1st to work with Kimberly.
Hey, well, thank you so much for answering those questions, Cassie. It was amazing to hear, even going through coach training, to get this one-on-one time with you to ask you those questions. Amazing.
Absolutely. Yay.
And the system works.
It does work. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to come back next week when we talk about my Freedomversary. If you're ready to jump in, go to payafteryoumanifest.com or manifest 10K, and let's get started.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.